I don't know if this is a good place to start.
Okay, yup, I saw something down there. I'm done.
Really?
Yeah.
What? I heard that. No way.
Did you hear it?
I don't know if it was you breathing, but it was like a hiss breathing almost.
Are you pushing me right now? There actually is a red mark. No way, are you serious? Come here, guys. Are you serious?
Heritage Society of Essex Museum. Constructed as a fire station and police station in the 1920s, this building harbors nearly 100 years of energy, from the firemen responding to emergencies and police officers locking criminals in the jail cells. In this episode, I will be showing the side-by-side differences between two separate investigations that my team and I conducted. For the first investigation, I am joined by my friends Patrick and Simeon. For the second investigation, I am joined by my friend Mika. Brian of the Baltimore Paranormal Society graciously hosts my team and I during the investigations.
I am the founder of the Baltimore Paranormal Society, based out of Baltimore, Maryland.
And then Brian, how long have you been doing paranormal investigating?
So I've been in it since 2012. I have members scattered all throughout, Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Before we conduct the investigation, we are given a tour of the museum from Brian and the staff, and they share stories and evidence of some of the hauntings they've experienced.
We are here in the Avenue of Shops, as we call it.
We start with the music room.
We have an organ over there in the corner that is gutless. However, it's been reported that the organ still plays by itself, even though there's nothing in there to make it play.
The building maintenance director, Sandy, tells us a story of a mysterious phenomenon that happened when she was alone in the music room.
The thing is I set the phone down to clean up the glass at the edge of the counter, and the first thing it did was take a picture of the floor. And then I looked over and I saw that it was recording. And I thought, I didn't do that. I'm cleaning glass. So I pushed the button to stop it because it was a new phone, and I thought, okay, something's wrong with my phone. And then when I played it back, oh my God.
We have something good.
Here's the video footage.
Yeah, I was about to ask, what am I?
You hear that?
Yeah.
That's what you're listening for.
What? That wasn't you?
No.
I thought that was you. I thought that was you putting the phone down or something.
No, the phone was sitting by itself.
What the
You can clearly hear a man sighing. But before I could listen to it, we were joined by a truly special guest investigator.
Now you're good. Come on. Jenny's here.
She's nice. Her name's Candy.
So we've got a special guest joining us tonight. Jenny will be
Hi, Miss Candy.
Just kidding.
Come here. Let me see your mommy's ears. You want to go bye-byes?
No.
Wow. Gizmo ears, right?
But unfortunately, Candy had to leave us due to a prior engagement and was unable to investigate with us.
Serious move.
Is that nothing for me?
Was this spirit lingering in the music room and manipulated Sandy's phone just so he could be heard? Jenny Parrish, the president of the Heritage Society, then shows us an intelligent response from an EVP that was taken during an investigation with her and another team.
And then what are you about to show me right now?
Oh my gosh, that's really cool. It's an EVP of, we assume, a fireman that answered our questions one evening.
Here is the enhanced audio response.
Are you the fireman that has been talking to Jenny and I on the Squelch radio?
Yes.
What's your name?
I heard that. No way.
Did you hear it?
Yeah.
You can clearly hear an intelligent yes response when Sandy asks a direct question.
Squelch radio?
Yes.
What? I heard that.
From here we continue the tour to the creepiest part of the museum.
Over this way, we have the doll room, filled with, you guessed it, creepy dolls. That I'm not really a fan of. So some things to point out in here, that bike hanging on the ceiling belonged to the original Bozo the Clown. Not the one you've seen on TV, but the original one that was here in Essex. That bike, it's known to swing by itself for no apparent reason, which is kind of cool. We were in here earlier this year, and you see Bugs Bunny there. We had a piece of equipment in here that picked up heat signatures. Bugs Bunny had a huge heat signature. And I always like to point out the creepy Santa Claus up there on the top. Yeah. He always scares me, but...
I want to say the one that creeps me
at is definitely the one with like that red piece sticking out of his mouth, like.
We then walk to the general store when all of a sudden,
And we can go inside here. Whoa. Just got super dizzy walking in here.
Ever happened before?
No, I have to step out. What in the world?
upon entering the section, Brian mysteriously becomes ill. A big portion of investigations comes from experiencing feelings, sensations, and emotions that occur throughout the body. Although there is not really a way to scientifically document this, the only thing we can do is just show the effects that these experiences have on people. We then continue to the jail cells, where one has a particular story.
We're gonna enter into one of my favorite parts of the building back here.
The prison cells. But before we do that,
Okay, so did you hear that voice?
we are interrupted.
I think they're outside.
Yeah, there's people outside. I just saw them pass by.
So we might, once Jenny gets here, I don't want you running them off. Okay, don't kill yourself.
Guys, we have an event going on here tonight. You can't stay here. There's an event going on here tonight. You gotta move.
There's an event going on right now. We gotta move.
Thank you very much.
All right. One thing I like to point out in here is that if you look at the benches and the walls, you'll see names carved in the benches, and then names painted on the walls here. This cell, there is a rumor. It's not documented anywhere, and I don't know that I believe it. But this cell is rumored to have a spirit by the name of Bob, who in this case, he is said to have committed suicide in this cell.
Oh, wow.
There's a picture at the end of the hallway, which I'll show you, that I'm not entirely sure that I believe.
Being a skeptic at heart, and as any paranormal investigator would do, we tend to question the legitimacy of any evidence that is presented.
This picture is what we think of is Bob. I didn't take this picture. I don't know where this picture came from, but I don't believe it's anything.
What is
Can you tell me why?
that?
That's what you should be looking at. But why do I not believe that that's something?
I can't tell if that might just be a reflection.
In my opinion, and this is just me, and I can see why people think it is something.
Yeah.
But if you look at what you have going on here and the outfit that this female is wearing here,
Okay.
it's kind of similar. You have that black strap, you have a black strap.
Uh-huh.
You have an arm here, you have her arm extending down there. There's just a lot of similarities that make me believe that it could have just been a camera malfunction.
Yeah, but I've never seen a camera malfunction like that.
No, like I say, I don't know what it is, because what I don't like is that I don't know sort of the environment where, when the picture was taken, I don't know what was happening, I don't know what was going on.
What do you think? Was this a camera malfunction, or the spirit of a man that is rumored to have committed suicide in the jail cell? Brian then tells us an experiment that he conducts during his investigations.
I'll go ahead and tell you about what happens in the hallway. I like to have people in here, and I like to send one person out here by themselves.
Okay.
And I like that one person to stand where Sandy's standing.
Okay.
And of course, it's going to be darker in here at nighttime. And I like them to just watch the hallway. We see a shadow figure down at the end of the hall here. We don't know who it is. We don't know what it is. But it just kind of chills down there.
We agree to perform this experiment, and we'll show later on in the episode. For the first investigation, I begin by asking how Patrick and Sam are feeling.
Back it up. Back it up.
Okay, so what's up, guys? How do y'all feel about this?
Here.
I'm ready. Interested.
Yeah.
Flash.
Should be cool.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to actually see some stuff.
All right.
You guys, what happened? Just kidding.
I then ask Mika the same question. So how are you feeling right now?
Feeling pretty good. I just I don't know. I'm kind of excited. It's like I was talking to him earlier, and I was just like, it's like that feeling when you're about to go on a roller coaster, and it's like one of those ones where it's gonna be like you're going up, and it's a dead drop. Like I can feel like the adrenaline, like the pre-adrenaline, and then
Yeah.
I'm excited to see if anything happens, because like he was saying, like it doesn't always happen. So, and me being new at this, I'm still figuring out like what I believe as far as this goes.
Yeah. With the stage set, we are ready to begin our investigation. We begin from the perspective of Patrick and Sim and start by heading upstairs to the Red Room to try and connect with any spirits.
Just letting you guys know, we are sitting in this room and it is a whopping 91.8 degrees. It is hot. Why did you pick the spot first? Jeez, jerk.
Because I'm trying to sweat out some toxins right now, you know.
Brian sets up an energy bar which pumps electromagnetic energy in the air. What is it?
That energy that it puts into the air allows the spirits to take it, and it helps them to interact and manifest and make themselves known.
To prove this is working, I pull up a millimeter next to it which detects electromagnetic energy, and you can see how high it spikes when it is near it.
See that? It's kind of spiking at an 87, 59. You getting that?
Jeez.
There was a lot of
We start by using the Ghost Meter Pro.
Sometimes, so when it's searching like that, that means nothing is locked into it. When that light turns solid and that noise stops, that means something has made contact with it, and you can begin asking yes or no questions. So like right there, we have something.
We attempt to communicate with this spirit.
Is there anybody here with us? How many of us are here with us? Is there more than one of us here? And hypothetically, that would answer. And it would be, okay, so that was 2. 2 means yes, 1 means no.
Okay.
And the reason 2 means yes is because it takes more energy to make 2 beats. So that's a no. Can you tell us if you're a male? Once for no, twice for yes. You guys can ask whatever you want. So that was a no. So once again, it was once. The gauge went up once, and now we're away.
So we're probably doing a female spirit right now?
Yes.
Talking to? Okay.
So we have something else here with us. Are you the wife of a service member? Yes. Yes. Yes.
Are you tied to something here in this building?
No.
We then try a different tactic using the REM pod, which its functionality is shown here.
I have 2 objects here in the hallway. If you don't want to approach us, that glow-in-the-dark circle, if you go up and touch that antenna, it'll light up and let us know that you're here. Can you do that for us? No. Will you please do it for us? Just show us that you're here. No. Bye.
The spirit leaving indicates a good stopping point for this experiment. I will now show you the events of what happened 2 weeks later with Mika. So this is lights on for everyone at home, and we're about to go lights off. And this, I don't have a night vision right now, so I'm gonna crank the ISO. And you can't really see all that well except where there's light, and that's how it looks with a light. So this is what our eyes are seeing, essentially kind of like this. So we're just trying to give that perspective a little bit.
If there's anybody down here, we are going to the Red Room. You're more than welcome to follow us. I don't like that door being open either.
You want me to close it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm experiencing this again.
What's up?
And I experienced it when we were up here on a walkthrough.
Uh-huh.
I find it very hard to breathe.
Brian, I was about to ask you the same thing. I've been having a very strong, hard to breathe sensation in my throat the entire time. Are you feeling that as well?
I am, but I don't know if it's because I'm nervous. This is completely new for me.
There's an energy in this building tonight that was not here the last time.
Absolutely.
I want to be completely honest about that. I'm in a state right now where everywhere I go in this building, I have, for lack of a better term, the heebie-jeebies.
Okay.
And I don't usually get that in this building. This building is usually very warm. I'm on edge. I would be completely honest with you. And that's not to scare you.
I'm feeling that way too right now.
I am on edge more so than I've ever been. Which is strange because there has been nobody in here since the last time we've been here.
Yeah. And
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That was a footstep at the end of the hall.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you hear that? I don't know if this is a good place to start.
Okay.
It appears something is following us around the building, wanting to make its presence known to us.
So I can tell you that there was one difference between when me and Sean were here last time and this time. And that difference is that room was open today.
Yeah.
And the room has been shut the last time we were here. I've never investigated that room before. I don't know what's in that room. It is very possible that there is something in that room. What?
I don't know if it was you breathing, but it was like a hiss breathing almost. And it like the hiss breathing that comes through your nose, not your mouth.
I heard that.
Do you hear that?
Stuff is happening all around us.
Absolutely.
We all hear an audible cracking noise, which you can hear coming through the camera's audio.
I heard that.
The tension in the room is at an all-time high as there is a strange noise, and we are all still experiencing an uneasy choking feeling. All of our hearts are racing, and in this next moment, Brian attempts to ask the spirits to back off of us.
I need you to back off. We know that you're here with us, and we appreciate it. But I need you to give us some space to collect ourselves, and then we can talk to you. Do we have an understanding? Thank you.
After that, we begin trying to communicate with the spirit that was causing so much commotion.
I'm very hesitant to turn my light off, so I apologize.
No, it's good.
I'll dim it, but
I would appreciate if you didn't turn your light
okay,
off.
if you want it
personally.
full-fledged.
But it doesn't matter what it's on.
Okay, we've got something.
What do we have?
Are you the one that has been messing with us? Blink once for no, twice for yes.
So it's a yes.
Yes.
Okay. Good to know.
First answer of the night.
Are you a firefighter? Okay, so that was a no. So
Are you a police officer?
yes. Are you watching us? No. And he's left us.
This is.
I will say that this is the most uncomfortable I've been in this building.
Yes.
It's easing now that I've been in here a little bit.
Yeah,
And
same
then
for
maybe
me.
you can say the same.
What's strange to notate is that from the very first investigation in the Red Room, we were all communicating with the spirits with calm demeanor. Brian, who has investigated this place over 100 times, says he has never felt anything like that before here. Could this have been the possibility of all of us channeling the choking sensation from the man that was rumored to have committed suicide in this building when Brian invited something to follow us from the prison cells, which put the three of us on edge?
You're more than welcome to follow us.
After trying to further communicate with the spirits for another 30 minutes, we then continue on to the next experiment. We now move to the military room. Without telling us what happens, Brian has us try something to see if we experience an interesting phenomenon that occurs in this room. Patrick, Sim, and I each try it out. It occurs to Patrick and Sim, but not myself. He then tells us that what happens is that when you stand in the center of the room, your equilibrium becomes unaligned, and you start experiencing a swaying motion, almost like you are on a rocking boat. We try the same thing with Mika the following 2 weeks, and she experiences nothing. I walk around the room with the Mel meter to see if there are any electromagnetic anomalies in the room. It spikes a few times above 0.03, but nothing out of the ordinary. From there, we travel upstairs to the firehouse room and try to make further communication, but noted nothing significant. We then move down to Brian's favorite section to investigate, the prison cells, where it is rumored to have the spirit of a man who committed suicide in one of the cells.
We're coming in here to join you.
From here, we start the experiment with setting up the REM pod in the center of the hallway.
Right out in the hallway, about halfway up. Oh.
What?
What's happening? Going off.
Yeah, it's going off. Big time.
The REM pod starts firing off and we do not know why. We eventually have to walk up to it to manually turn it off and turn it back on. Was this a malfunction or a spirit making itself known to us? We now all move to the last jail cell where we set up the energy bar, Mel meter, and ghost meter to attempt to communicate with any spirits. After spending some time in the jail cell, we begin hearing noises in the hallway. If you listen closely, it sounds like someone is whistling.
What was that?
Hearing those.
Did you hear that?
It sounds like something outside.
Here's the replay.
It sounded like a...
Directly after, we loudly hear more noises at the end of the hallway.
Is there any sort of like loudspeaker or something outside?
Nope.
We now begin to communicate with the spirit.
I want to spend some time out in the hallway as well to see if we can get that shadow figure. Yes. Do you want to show yourself to us? Do you want us to go out into the hallway? No.
So you wanna go in the hallway? What about just one of us?
Yes.
It seems the spirit wants to communicate with us. So we send Sim into the hallway by himself, and with us closed in, we try to make further contact.
I'm terrified right now.
You can stand where you can see us if you want. Go ahead and shut the door back on us.
Oh, Jesus, are you serious? I'm not about that life.
Do you want me to?
Alright.
No, I'll do it. Oh, God.
Just keep your eye at the end of the hallway. So I have one of my friends out in the hallway. Is that what you wanted? Yes.
Yes.
No.
Will you show yourself to him? No.
No. Okay, I'm going back in.
We then send Patrick out by himself, and we also lock ourselves in the jail cell.
We can't get out now. Alright, so I have another friend out in the hallway.
Okay, yep. I f***ing saw something down there. I'm done.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It looked like like you described earlier, black mass. Like
Yeah.
a shadow or something just walked right past.
With his own eyes, he immediately spots what appears to be a black mass at the end of the hallway.
I don't know.
No way. Go ahead, try it.
Like it looked like somebody walking out, and I saw like an arm swing.
Go out and lock us in again.
Oh, God damn it. You know what? You go first.
Okay.
You do it.
Oh, jeez.
It is then my turn to isolate myself in the hallway.
That was.
So go ahead and shut that. Push that bar. Lock us in.
Oh God, I do not want to do this.
Are you going to show yourself to him as well? We know you're capable.
You can show yourself to me.
Well, he left us.
Walk down this hallway. There's a light that you can walk in front of. Is that you at the end of the hallway standing?
Can you see something? That's a yes.
After a while, I also see what Patrick sees with my own eyes.
It just looks like a black mass. Like there's got to be something right there in front of it. There's no way.
My friend, there's nothing there.
No, there has to be. That's a yes. It said yes. Okay. Okay. There's no way. Okay, can I have like a light or something? Like I have to see.
I then grab a flashlight to confirm what both Patrick and I saw.
Like, walk us through it.
There's nothing there.
Like just standing here, there's looks like there was just somebody standing there the entire time.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
I'm trying to just see. Yeah, when I went out there, it looked like something was walking out from the left. Like I saw like an arm swing out, like somebody was walking.
I then get the very bright idea to stand at the end of the hallway with my back turned towards the shadow figure to even further isolate myself and leave myself vulnerable to whatever is in the hallway.
Go ahead and step.
You stand right here.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna hang out at the end of the hall.
And we're going to shut this. And
Okay.
we're going to lock us in again.
Why are you hanging out at the end of the hall? Lock you in?
We're going to lock us in again.
Okay.
If you're here with me at the end of this hall right now, come talk to me. Touch me.
With my back turned to whatever may be there, and my adrenaline pumping, we attempt to communicate with the spirit.
My back is turned towards you right now. Come touch me. Push me.
I'm out here. Can you show yourself with and me and Sean? Can you touch Sean?
They left.
Leaving.
I have two friends out in the hallway. One is about halfway up, and the other one is standing here right next to me. Can you interact with them? Can you touch them? You don't have to be afraid. You've shown yourself. They've seen it. They believe.
What?
I begin to get a sensation in my back as if something is touching me, and we ask to confirm if it is or not.
Are you touching me right now?
Are you touching Sean?
Yes.
That was a yes.
Still?
I then feel as if I am being pushed forward.
Are you pushing me right now?
It said yes to are you still touching him?
He's like pushing me right now.
Where do you feel it?
Like on my top of my back, like he's like pushing me forward.
To see if there is any way to prove this, I lift up the back of my shirt to document if there are any markings.
Where was it at? Like right here?
It felt like it was like right here.
Right
Do you
here.
see anything?
Forward.
There actually is a red mark.
No way. Are you serious right
Come
now?
here, guys.
Are you serious right now?
Sim also tells me a bit of interesting information.
Well, I didn't want to freak you out, but there was something behind you the whole
No
time.
way.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, there's
So red there.
definitely
and red
saw
there.
something.
I want
point it
more.
out again.
So we have it's starting to fade, but we have some red there, and then we have some red over here. And it was more prominent when he first lifted up his shirt.
It's hard to tell as there was some time difference between the time I lifted up my shirt and adjusting the camera settings on where the marks are at. But if I freeze frame it and adjust the contrast and color tone, you can see what looks like 2 circle fingerprints on my back. Was this the spirit of a police officer that thought I was a criminal and tried to force me back into my jail cell?
Are you a police officer?
Yes.
I then peer pressure Sim into conducting the exact same experiment with Patrick standing outside the jail cell.
I want to know that it's
I'll stand in the hallway
I know
again, but I'm not
it's
looking.
not just me, dude.
Yeah, go for it.
What? No.
Patrick did it. Come on, dude.
I'll do it.
Okay, no.
Right
So
here.
how were you standing?
Can you do what you did to me to him?
Are you feeling anything?
I can't even see it.
He left us.
I can't tell. I feel like I feel something, but I don't know if it.
Okay.
Okay.
I
think something's definitely pushing me.
He begins to feel the same pressure on his back.
I don't know if it was my imagination, but I did like rock forward a little bit.
We then try to see if there are any markings on his back like there were with mine.
Because I'll tell you one spot that pointed out to me is right in here.
Yeah.
There's starting to be red marks
Yeah.
making themselves known.
Yeah.
After adjusting the contrast and color, you see a series of red lines on his back where Brian had pointed out. We now go to 2 weeks later and attempt to conduct the exact same experiment with Mika and I.
And we're locked in.
This time being locked in. For a long portion of the night, we attempt non-stop communication with Mel meters, EVPs, and trying to get the ghost to interact with both Mika and myself. With slight disappointment, we get nothing and end the experiment.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Further into the night, I even locked myself alone in the jail cell and attempted to communicate with the spirit, but again, got nothing.
You know, we've definitely had more active nights, but
Thus is the nature of paranormal investigations. One night could start very easy
Back it up.
and end tremendously.
Okay, yep. I f***ing saw something down there. I'm done.
Another night, we can begin an investigation by making contact with an overwhelming presence and adrenaline rushing through all of us,
I don't know if this is a good place to start.
Okay.
but end with nothing.
You know, I think we got some stuff tonight. Obviously, it wasn't as active as the first time we were together, but
You can never predict what will happen when it comes to the paranormal. We then close out and discuss the events of tonight.
Okay, so you've, I think you've made a slight believer out of a lot of my friends here tonight. Thank you for your interactions. This is one of the first times that I've heard of it pushing somebody.
So that was the first time for you for this
Yes.
place?
Well,
has anybody actively pulled a Sean and just been like, I'm gonna go to the end of the hallway?
I've had people in the hallway, but I've never had somebody say, okay, I'm going to put myself in such a susceptible position to where, it can, because you invited it to touch you.
Yeah.
And, nobody really does that, because I do say, hey, we shouldn't be provoking anything. I don't think that was provoking. I think that was just asking for...
Yeah, I just get really hyped and I just like...
No, go for it. Yeah.
Happen.
High five, dude.
We would like to thank Brian and the team of the Baltimore Paranormal Society, the Heritage Society of Essex Museum, and the staff for twice graciously hosting myself and my team. And we would like to do one special shout out to Candy. Stay tuned for more future ghost hunts.